What up, guys? How we doing? It's chilly, but I can't handle having my jacket zipped when I'm sitting down. I feel awkward zipping. Oh. That's almost close enough for my old ass to read. I just need to get a bigger phone. What up? First Gen, Rad Dad, Brandon. How's everybody doing? For me, it's been a exhausting week. As I get started here. Alright. Now, we've got some things figured out. I totally forgot about this. We'll start with it. Anybody ever used one of these? So, you'll be seeing him in an upcoming couple videos. My younger brother, and he's a really good tree dude too. So I'm sure every tree person. No problem, Christian. We're just setting things right to what they were. Yeah. So I'm sure most tree guys, like, especially along the way when you're trying to dial in how to sharpen a saw, which is kind of hard, kind of tricky sometimes, you look at these. And I thought, I mean, the first time I probably looked at it was a couple years, probably even more than that. It may be 5 years ago, 6 years ago, but I never tried one. My younger brother actually bought me one, so I got home and I went to open it. So I pulled out, it comes with a pair of gloves, these, which are your files. And that's the problem I feel like with the whole thing, is these files. The way it works, this little nut there comes off, and then you switch out the files. So it comes with all the sizes. It comes with a little brush. I don't know what you're going to use this little brush for. Yeah. You're right, Billy. This little wrench. And the way it sets up. Check this out. Oh, it did come with this really cool, like, really nice little carrying case, which is sick. But took me forever to figure it out, because I looked in it and I'm like, no instructions. And then as I went to go put it back up, after messing with it for probably an hour and a half trying to sharpen a couple teeth, that was sitting in the bottom. I'm like, well, that would have been helpful. But yeah, it clamps on. You have to put every single thing together, and then the way it works is you have to figure out how to do it. This little piece here, which is another weird little piece, like, you screw this, you clamp it down on the bar, then you screw this to get it into place, and this backs it flips down onto the tooth, and then you like pry it into place, and then you put your file, after you put the nut on and put the handle inside the hole, and then you just do this. And I think with good files, it would work. Yeah, yep, pretty much, Billy. I think it would maybe work. The files are trash though. Like, they're just not there. I don't think they're any good. They're just no good. But yeah. Um, it looks cool. It looks really cool. But yeah. I think that may be as far as that goes, is that it looks cool. So, if you were hoping I would give you some awesome info if you own one, you're like, oh, he's gonna say nope. No. Seems like a bit of a gimmick to me, but yeah. It's very complicated. That's too technically. That's what I'm saying. Dang, a rock? That's pretty sick though. 15 plus years? You've been freehanding? Yeah. Yeah, you get used to it. I bought an electric sharpener and that works great. Oh, right on, first gen. Alright, oh my god. What a weird week. Yeah, okay. First, for me, this week, exhausting. Just personally, mentally, all of it. Just a rough week. So, wasn't that motivated for this one today. But, you know, I'm like, I'll get through it. I'll get through it. Whether we do just a Q&A and just talk, or... So this one I'll be much more interactive with you in the comments than I normally am, because I have a whole heap of stuff to read most of the time. But we still have some citations. So Brandon, you have to go back after you make the video in your studios and put it in, and like in the title or in the description, wherever you put it. You have to go back and re-edit it after it first goes on. This is how complicated it is to do it. Then, unless it gives you the option to put in tags, but it won't take it the first time when you upload the video to YouTube. But if you go back and edit it and put at Veterans Tree Service, it will. So if it doesn't actually pull the person up, it's not tagging them. Just a heads up to anybody who's doing videos. So yeah, it's pretty aggravating that you got to go through a bunch of steps, but it is what it is. There's a lot of weird stuff you have to do for YouTube. Some of my recent comments are wild. You can tell the new season is getting ready to start, and a lot of the newer guys are getting back into it, and maybe they've been watching tree videos all winter long, and they're going to do so good for this week or this season, and they're out throwing around their knowledge, you know. It's funny. It's really, really, really funny when you get somebody that will correct you on something that you almost introduced into the industry, but they're correcting you on it because they seen a new product, and because you just weren't greedy and wanted to make money. And I don't know, man. Some of you newer guys, just FYI, if you're just getting into it, awesome. It's a cool industry, a bunch of good dudes, and probably a lot of good women now. I mean, I don't follow a bunch of women that do it, but a lot of good dudes. But like, And just because you maybe learned a few things, or maybe it's your first year or first five, I'll tell you right now, I had over 10 years experience before I ever knew there was anything other than a rope, a chainsaw, spikes, and a saddle. Like I knew there, but like I didn't know about any of this other stuff. Not YouTube, not all the climbing devices, all the little gadgets that you can get. I've learned more and I learned more in a 3 year period where I did everything in my power. I scrolled every bit of information I could find to learn everything I could, because this new information about rigging or climbing or setting ropes, like all this stuff was just, it was new. No one really knew it. So spend a little more time like figuring things out before you go swinging your knowledge around, because it makes you look goofy at times. Thanks, First Gen. Yeah, if you guys don't mind, hit the thumb button or just double tap the screen. It helps me out. So some say 40, some say 180. God bless you, brother. Oh, you dirty dog. What up, BR? GP? I don't know. I think he's on uh maybe on a vacay or something. I don't know. I caught a little. Oh shoot! I caught a little bit of his live earlier, but that was it. It was already uploaded, so. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know anything, and I thought I was the bee's knees, and I was 10 years in, and and your years in doesn't make you any better. Just FYI to anybody out there, just because everyone that you idolize has been doing it 20 years, you don't have to then lie and say you've been doing it 20 years. It's unnecessary. I mean, okay, that's one thing. Uh, that's like one thing that I want to bring up here in a little bit. Like, I feel like someone gave an honest answer about their experience. I didn't like the way it was done. I thought it was cringy, but at least he was honest about his experience. Because, like I said, in that 3 years, I learned more than I ever learned in 10 years. But multiply that by 1,000. Okay? I gained a lot of experience in 10 years. But I didn't know nothing. So, I didn't know anything. Whatever. I'm a hillbilly. YouTube competition is high now. It's hard to stand out amongst the rest. Yeah, I mean, but it is what it is. Like, I'm not. It's okay if mine doesn't blow up and I don't have a huge YouTube channel. You want to know why? I've had 10 years almost to ease myself into that reality. And, plus, to see how it completely oversaturated it's became or become. I'm not correcting my speech for that. I say what I say. Over the years, it's been crazy. But a lot of these guys aren't gonna be here for the long term. So like, they'll put up a few videos, and then the problem is that now you can just grab your phone and do YouTube shorts, and you don't really have to edit it or nothing. So everybody can run a YouTube channel just by clicking their phone and being like, putting music to it. Bad for you. Taut line. That's all I knew. Doing alright, BR. How are you? What I learned on, if you double tap the screen, shows YouTube still one channel. Okay, right on. Yeah, thank you, First Gen. GP on okay, I thought it was on vacay. I didn't get to see a whole lot of it because I was trying to catch up on some other stuff, but I stopped and checked it for a little bit. And then I had to run to the grocery store before I started this live feed. So I've been cutting for 22 years, climbing for 15. I still learn something all the time. Me too. That's why, like, it's rare what up, Billy? How are you, brother? Don't have to learn anything new. Right on. I dig it, man. You earned it too, brother. Enjoy it. Um, yeah, I basically I experience something every time. Like I'm always. That's when if you're in that mind frame, you'll rarely get in a situation where you have to make a stupid decision or like a rash decision that could result in something bad happening. Every single time, if you're taking data and like not on autopilot, trying spending all your time being like, look at me, I'm awesome, and you're just thinking about, man, it sure would be like some guys, I swear this is what I see when they're doing their work. They're like cutting the notch out and they're like staring at the log, and I swear in their brain this is what I feel like they're cutting and they're like, you know what? The only way this job would be this would be any better is if this had mirrored bark so I could look at myself when I do it because I am killing it right now. That's the attitude of guys these days, and it's exhausting to keep up with. So when I was 13 every summer and went full time at 17 when I graduated from high school and still doing it. How old are you, Brandon? I ChatGPT take a hell yeah, first gen. That's called getting with the or adjusting to the times. I've been climbing since I was born and whatnot. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. What up, Patrick? Yeah. I think I. Hey, oh yeah, I didn't get a chance to tell you that I appreciate you doing the video last week where you basically told everybody that I was right and that you just need to communicate better and that the rest of these guys need to stop thinking that they know everything from like a single angle of a video. I don't know if you got a chance to catch it, but thanks for doing that video and clearing everything up. If you guys didn't catch it, like I said, he just admitted that I was completely right about everything and that he needs to communicate better and that the rest of you guys need to stop thinking that you figured everything out from a quick little video, a single angle, pretending like thinking you know everything. You only know what he's telling you, unless you're me. So thanks, Patrick. You don't even have to type all that out. I did it for you there. Over 50 years and I'm worn out. Hell yeah, Britt. God, Billy's the man. Right on. You two, I swear, I absolutely respect the way Tim takes criticism and has a sense of humor, and Patrick takes it just as good and has just as good of a sense of humor, but it just doesn't show. I love a dry sense of humor. Like, if someone was listening to me around some of the people that I like and get along with, they would think that we hate each other because like we'll do that, but not laugh. But yeah. So I don't even remember where I was at. What was I talking about? But yeah, this week I just from the comments, I'm getting some wild comments being like, don't you know there's a product that they make that for that? Like I'm an idiot. And I'm like, yeah, but you know what? I made like I come up with this idea, and that's what inspired that company that makes that product. That's what inspired them to make the product that you're telling me about. It's from guys like me who came up with a different way to do it. And I mean, it's sitting right behind me. The video was this: putting a bow trigger on a big shot. There's a lot of different ways you've seen people do it. The way that I have this set up, you clip it together, you hold the strap, and you step on it with your foot. It is the easiest way to engage a big shot. I don't care if you use that notch trigger or whatever it is that you use. Well, let me hit. I should have wrote that doofus's name down. Like this, I got emails from, I can't remember if it was Cheryl Tree, because it's been years and years back. It was either Cheryl Tree or Tree Stuff, because basically they're the same, I think. But they were emailing me asking me about how to make this. So what I did is I took a bow trigger, I took a capturing ratchet strap, one that's got, it's perfect for this application. It's got this like coating thing over it, this like sleeve, because when this whips back, sometimes you can get smacked with it. You don't want to get hit with that metal. But the way it works, you take this little strap here, and say you're using the notch one, you still have to grab that thing and like engage it and pull the strap down and or the bungee down and do all that mess. With this setup, you don't have to do that. So the way this one works is it's attached down here. Ugh. So it's attached down here. Take the cap off, you attach it. So, and then when you set this ratchet strap up, if you set it up in the right configuration, you have the head that hangs off there. Is it got anything on it right now? So check this out. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys have probably used the notch one. So you can tell me, because I haven't, which one's easier. I think my brother actually owns the notch one, but let's just pretend like he does. And you guys can tell me which one of these setups is easier to use, because I felt like I just wanted to like educate this kid when he left the comment, because I'm like, yeah, I got asked, can we make this in production, like make this in mass quantities? And when I explained to him how I made it and what it was too many parts that you had to include. And then they were like, can you bring it down and like get the components to get like, and I'm like, no, I put a video on YouTube on how to make it. Like that's it. So here's where it's set up. This is a stick, okay? It's a stick inside the pull thing. It just stiffens it up there. That's a bow, like a string to a bow. It's like the end of it for a real junky, trashy, like pretend play bow, like that kind of bow. I attach it. So the way this works, you just pull this up. And the reason when I first got this, I didn't like having to hold the tension with my hands and like aim it, because then it got all wiggly and everything, because you're trying to hold all the tension. So the way this thing works, you just press there, it lifts up, you clip that bow trigger there onto this, and now it's set. So here's where it gets really easy. When you go to engage this, I don't know if I can show you this here. So when you go to engage this, the way you would do it is you'll have to pretend like my foot, or this is my foot. So you'll hold this part up into the air and then just step right there. I don't want that to stay up. And then just step right here. And it pulls the ratchet strap down. And hold it and then step right there. So I don't have to bend over at all. I click that on there and step, and extend that all the way out, and then shoot. It's really touchy, really simple. This is the cheapest, absolute cheapest bow trigger that there was. I think maybe altogether I spent like $12 making a trigger. And that included buying the ratchet strap. So that is ghetto, but it works. Yeah, it's very ghetto. It was also made almost a decade ago. So like the kid randomly scrolls onto the video, sees it, I guess thinks I made it yesterday, and it's like, hey, you know they make a product for that, don't you? They make a trigger already. I'm like, holy shit. Like, if you only knew. But still, with the other trigger, I don't like it. I think it's the same as just, I mean, you're still having to stretch that thing out and get it put over the trigger. I don't have to do nothing. That is the laziest, easiest way. You want to know the other reason? Because I actually contacted where I got this idea from, and I told the guy, hey, dude, they're trying to buy that idea. And, what up, Dan? Yeah, dude, I'll rig anything I'll make anything work just to get it done. But, yeah, so I contacted the guy where I got the idea, because that's not my idea. There's some little tweaks that I did to it to make it work for me, like being able to step onto it instead of having to pull it down. I just reversed the way that the ratchet strap was held. But yeah, it just, and it works really good. But it's just too big and awkward, so I never took it back out. Plus, I was in that spell where I was, and maybe it lasted 5 years, where I was just trying to learn something new, get up and keep up with everybody else. If there was a new technique, I wanted to learn it. And I probably made an apta after this and stuff. So, yeah, this isn't my idea completely. Like, some of it is, but this came from Tony Nemkowski, and that's a guy that I ended up, when I was starting to learn everything, when I found out there's this whole other world of tree work where, like, legit arborists are doing things that I didn't even know existed. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. I'm just a tree climber, or a guy that cuts stuff in comparison. So I just spent a lot of time trying to soak up all the knowledge I could. And I took a chance and went to a camp out that a bunch of climbers were having in Memphis, Tennessee. So my wife, my daughter went with me, and I was just so into it at the time that we all took a trip down there, went to it. What up, Ground Pounder? Hope the vacay is going good. Looked like you guys were in a nice place. Looked like it was warm at least. So yeah, I just took advantage of that and went there, and man, it opened up my eyes. The guys were amazing to me. They were so friendly, and it was in BFE, and like they were some rough characters, but I felt like I fit in like instantly. But they were amazing climbers, and some of them you guys may even know. But there's a guy called Rhino, Ron. What's Ron's last name? I can't remember his last name right. Ron Edwards. And then Tony Nemkowski, I think they call him the Flying Squirrel. Just amazing climbers. And I learned so much that day. I learned so much from that day. I climbed SRT for my first time. And then it was just like, oh wow. Okay. Like I'm so far behind everyone else. But some guys are okay with just like, I know how to do enough to get it done. And if that's all you need, cool, right on. I just don't want to ever be in a situation where I get in a spot where I'm forced to make a decision that causes a catastrophe, when I could learn along the way and not be on autopilot, trying to retain everything that's going on and collect data the whole day, because every day's different. Like if I'm in a factory and I was just sitting there doing the same thing, looking at the same thing over and over and over, I get going on autopilot. But I don't get it when you're doing this. So yeah, I mean, to me, this kind of stuff is incredibly fun. So like, I enjoy it anyway. So maybe that's why I retain it a little quicker and I want to learn everything. But yeah, it's mind blowing to see some of these comments. And it's just like, you little shit, you better respect your elder. And I'm gonna start being like Buck and Billy Ray and start telling you guys, you need to respect the old climbers. Like, If you guys don't know something, go to the old guy, and they'll tell you what to do because they're old. Not because like they have experience, it's just because they're old. So I have enough gray in my hair now. I should at least qualify to get asked questions. Um, so this new season begins, and you can be one of two kind of guys that climb trees and do trees. You can be the type of guy that learns stuff, understands stuff, and retains stuff, or you can be a guy who imitates what he sees, repeats it, and doesn't retain anything. Like every time he's going to do something, he needs to refer back to watching someone else do it. Because even though he may have done the task before, he just didn't care. He was trying to imitate that day. I want to look like this guy who does it. And I just don't get that. I don't get it. Pedro, what's up, man? How are you? Okay, also, I've been seeing a lot. I don't get. Some of these guys have lifts, and some of the rigging from lifts just, it drives me nuts. They're like, I guess because the safety that you have, and you're rigging, if the tree fails, it doesn't matter to you because you're in a bucket. But like, I also think it's funny that 99% of the time, when guys are rigging from a bucket, they try to crop the bucket out. You can't crop the bucket out. I feel like if you're in a bucket and you're going to rig from a bucket and have the safety and security of being in a bucket, you better be proud about being in a bucket and show it. Stop cropping it out. Because, eventually we see the corner of the bucket. We know you're not climbing. Guys do that. They'll be rigging. They'll rig a big piece. It'll get stuck. And then they'll just, let the ground guy... I watched a video where the ground guy that was on the rope, he struggled for what seemed like forever. And the guy in the bucket sat there and recorded it and was like, can you go get the other pole saw and see if you can get a hold of it and get it to unstuck? Dude, you're in a freaking bucket. It's not going to cause you any more energy. Go down and help him. I don't like it. I think you should have to get out of the bucket and have to haul your ass up that tree from now on, because you're letting this dude down here just work himself to death. You want him to go stand up underneath the piece that he's rigging and unstick it, when you could just push a button, get down, and get it off of it. But it wouldn't be good for your video. I hate that. I don't like it. How many Saturday Lives in a row is this? I think we're getting close to a year and a half straight again. Last time we did a little over 2 years straight. So it was 100 and something. I guess it's I don't know, 60 something maybe? 60 something? Somewhere in there. Yeah, they do. That drove me nuts when I watched. They'll do that, and then they'll just do ridiculously excessive rigging. Okay, if you want to do that, go ahead. I don't really care. It's not my stuff that's going to get damaged. It's not my ropes that are going to break. It's not my house that's going to get smashed. And it's not my ground guy that's going to get destroyed. So do your thing. I just don't like it. I don't like it. A lot of times, if you're going to do that, for God's sake, make sure that ground guy is out of the way. In case the rigging or the tree was to fail, it's not going to get the guy that you got all your faith in that's on your ropes. Ground guys, you don't need to be that close to the lowering device. There needs to be some space there. Some guys get their hands way too close. If for some reason you were sitting there holding that and a little stick got jammed up in the rope and you're letting it run, it grabs your hands and sucks it into there. I've seen guys get their hands broken shit. There's just, it's insane. It's ridiculous. It's pointless. So if you're going to take them risks, make sure you at least try to limit some of the danger damage that could happen. So that's just my little rant before we start. I have some questions that are kind of I'll do. We'll start it with this one. I was watching a video and a guy said, "Are you okay?" And we'll discuss this in the comments, and then I'll jump ahead to to a channel that we'll talk about. I only have a few for this week because I want to do more of these questions with you guys. So, are you a real climber if you have to call a contract climber at times? Now, this is my question. This is a question that he asked. Or maybe he didn't. He said he worded it more as like a statement. He's like, some people say that you're not a real climber if you have to call a contract climber. And I'm curious anybody else's opinion. I take an insane amount of pride knowing that I've never had to do that, and don't think I'd ever have. Like, there's always a way for me. Like, I've just always been the guy that gets that call, not the guy that has made the call. But for me personally, I think you're a real climber. You're just not as good as the other guy. If you climb and you get it done, you're a real climber. You're just not as good. So have some humility to you. If you're a guy that's calling other guys to do your job at times, like, you should have a little humility to you and just respect that guy, because there's a reason that you call that guy, because he can do things you can't do. And I assure you, he spent a lot of time developing the confidence, the knowledge, and the, experience to be able to do those things. So they just have a higher skill level. There's levels in this. Yeah, 100%. I agree. I mean, word for word, I agree with it. 100%. Nothing wrong with calling in someone with a higher. See, I think we're just a lot of like-minded people. Yeah, I think, okay, as a climber, I would say if you're running your own gig and you call in a contract climber, I think you may be a higher level operator than most, because you know your limits to the point that you swallowed your pride and you said, "Hey, give me a hand. I need your skills." You maybe are a better manager or owner or whatever, decision maker, because like, your level's there maybe in that like category, as opposed to maybe as a climber you're down here, but as a business owner or a manager or a lead, you're up here because you know that. So, Ayush, what's up? But yeah, I agree with that, Joseph. Exactly why I call Dano at times. Hell yeah! Dano's top notch. Shoot. I've done some pretty serious climbs here in Wisconsin. What does that say? John Dredd? What up? You're in Wisconsin, right on. You're up here with GP, or with GB. Not GP, but GB. Greg Brown. I guess Greg's in Boscobel? Or Boscobel? Or I always say Boscobel. I think that's what it says. And I only know that from looking at the bollard so much. A lot of times it comes down to creativity. Yeah. Well, I mean, at times I would, yeah. Teresa is the owner responsible for getting the job done. That's it. Knowing your like where you're at your best, and I that's so awesome. And I think guys should take pride in where they're their best instead of just because you may get a little bit more credit on YouTube, you pretend to be a higher level climber than maybe you are, when maybe that's not your gig. You're just really good at delegating and like knowing how to get something done. Just like going and buying a new crane. That's the same decision that a guy would do when he says, "Hey, bring in a contract climber," because it's just that's the tool that needs to be here to get this done safely, successfully, and quickly, efficiently, I guess. I'm pretty humble, but I think I'm pretty good and safe climbing. Yeah, yeah, I think Kevin Ham. um I mean, I know. I just you're good if you're good. That's it. That's I figured. I figured veteran. I kind of yeah. Yeah, you usually know when you're good. You know when you're good. Um and then you just like the guy that knows where his limit's at, you're going to find your limit one day. I mean, whether it be that age catches up with me and it's an age thing one day where I'm like, "Oh, I can't. It's not I'm just not I'm not him." Or it's the task or the size of the situation, or the dangers or whatever it may be. You're gonna find your limit eventually. It's just metal guitarist 69. That's a sick name. I meant Kevin Ham is from Wisconsin. Oh, he is? Right on. Yeah, I'm a tree guy and uh the sheriff. I'm not a puppet that'll dance for you. But no problem. He's a master arborist, not too far from me. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I follow his channel. I follow his channel. He's he's all right. I think he's very skilled. I think he's very very skilled, and experience is high level. I just think when you have a very strong opinion, some people have an opinion, okay, and that's truly their opinion. This is what I would say about it. Some people have an opinion on a situation and it's truly their opinion. Other people have an opinion on a situation for that period of time because they know that that's what others would say, or they're agreeing with someone that they like. They don't really have a true opinion on it. But other like-minded people have an opinion, so their opinion is that. If you spend enough time making videos, you will eventually be kind of a hypocrite, because you're gonna say something. If you're the second type of person, you say stuff, you say stuff, you say stuff, and then later on, maybe a year later, your opinion has changed a little bit, and so you start to contradict yourself. So Kevin is a nerd, but I like him. He is definitely a nerd. Definitely a nerd. Certified arborist for about a decade. That's sick, John Jed. That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's awesome. Getting having those relationships. That's sick, man. All right, let's. I'll come back. Okay, hang on. I'll give you one more question, and then we'll jump to Game of Trees. That'll be the first channel we discuss. Let's do another question. Okay, let me try to word this right. Okay, so has you how do you think YouTube has impacted the failure rate of like tree climbers and in tree work? Okay, in other words, has YouTube helped accidents from happening, or has it made more happen? I've been branching out on my own, and it's been tough. It's if you're just starting to branch out on your own, John, that probably is more my that 50-50 ish kind of thing. But yeah, if you're jumping out on your own, man, it's your first few years are gonna be a little tough. Just keep some faith and build your name and keep it clean. And after a year or so, that clean name is going to carry you. Um, just and always try to make sure you never leave anywhere without the person being 100% satisfied, because one person talking bad about you can be enough to ruin your name at times. So 50-50, John says. Um, yeah, yeah, I think it boils down to those to that first one. If now that I'm really thinking about it, it has lowered the failure rate. See, I don't know. I don't know, Tim. People can clearly see what works and what doesn't. But then they imitate. So I think it's back to the 50-50, because those people who educate themselves and learn things and don't simply just want to. Some people see you cut a notch in a tree and make a back cut, absolutely disregard where the weight's leaning, where the tree's leaning. They just see you put a notch facing the way you wanted it to go, and you cut it and it went there. That's all some people see. So they begin to imitate. And that's where I think a lot more failures have happened. Some guys get into tree work and they've done tree work for a while. And they start to feel like they're unstoppable. So they seen this wild crazy cut happen, on YouTube the other day. So they come to work the next day and they imitate. And as they imitate, they didn't spend enough time understanding it physically, like and absolutely completely understanding why it worked. They just know it did work. So when they imitate, bad things happen. So right on, John. Yeah, those wet weeks are rough, brother. But at least it's starting to warm up. At least people need to take responsibility for themselves. So I don't know where I place that. Yeah, it's a tough one. Because if you think it boils down to, I don't even know if it's an ignorance, because you know if they see 6 different YouTube shorts, that's the problem. Like, I don't even like YouTube shorts, if I'm being honest. I don't really like it. I don't think I would even make them if it didn't help grow the channel a little bit. I wouldn't make them because they seem pointless. You can show something, and now they're 3 minutes, so maybe it's better. But you can show something, but you don't get your point across. And even in a full YouTube video, you can't explain every single little thing and why it works. So it's like, when did that person's attention span fail them? And did they stop watching before they actually learned it? So even if you try to show it, that doesn't mean that they watched enough to retain it. So some people get lucky and others don't. Yes, 100%. I like shorts, but I don't show how to do anything. You don't need to. You don't need to. I like the most of mine. I just don't feel like you can get enough info across in a YouTube short. But some people, that's all they watch. That they don't watch, like, they love YouTube now because of the shorts. I think it's the attention span of people these days. It's changed. I've never been on TikTok. I've never ticked a talk or talked a tick. So I don't even know what it looks like. I don't know what's going on over there. I feel like I am a man, so I shouldn't even be on there. But yeah, I just don't get it. I don't get it. But hell, there were dudes that said that to me when I started doing YouTube. So I'm just being one of them old heads right now. You know what's funny, Tim? Somebody tried to troll me right from the get-go. The big part of the sun in the morning to noon makes a tree lean that way 98% of the time. Yeah, a tree is always, Martin, a tree is always going to grow where it gets its best sunlight no matter where that sun's at. Like, as long as that sun's coming up, it will, if there's only a little, like the tree's growing here, and there's all these other trees surrounding it, and there's one gap, and likely, a lot of times people want to know, why did a tree grow over my house? Well, because there's nothing over the top of your house. That's why they all want to grow over your house. Because you have all kinds of other stuff blocking the sunlight around them, but over your house it's always wide open. So that's why it grows that way. So, yeah, okay, Tim. Somebody trolled me so hard, and I got so mad instantly and started laughing afterwards. Unless they want to learn, they watch long form. Yeah. Somebody commented on that video with the dog. He says, your dog is ugly. And I was like, what? Why would you say that? And I got so, like, it felt like someone told me my kid was ugly. And I'm like, I just, like, went back to check. I'm like, did that even get any views? Because I purposely tried to, like, step on it and put another one on top of it. So I thought I was going to ruin the views. I just wanted to see how bad it was. So I put the first one out. And in the first one, he says, your dog is ugly. Or that dog is ugly or something. And the bad part was, with all the damn spell check that is on phones these days, how are you going to spell ugly wrong? So, hit me with a hard troll right from the get-go. Your dog is ugly. And I was like, you mother... I was so mad. My thumbs was getting... I was like working my thumbs out. I'm about to type this guy the greatest comment back. Cuss him so bad. And then I was like... oh yeah, he got me here. Like... And then so I don't know. I asked my dog. I was like, he said you're ugly, and he's like, that's okay. I wasn't looking for another girlfriend anyway. So it was what it was. I was like, this guy's trying to get me, and I'm like, you can't troll the sheriff. It don't work. So I had to realize he almost got me though. Almost got me. I don't know who the guy was, but there's always people gonna troll. Even worse, where there's 300 people or live. Yeah. Yeah, the live feeds are... We've had some wild live feeds where, like, I feel like we got rushed by bots for a little bit. That was... Some of these live feeds have had... Like, as I got off of it, ended the live feed, it had, like, 14,000 views. And, like a crazy amount. So, I don't know. Sometimes you just get raided and it gets weird, but... Let's go to, the first channel of the week. But yeah, that guy that said that, my dog's not ugly. And next time you're going straight to jail. You say stupid shit like that. That's what I'm saying, Dan. He knew what he was doing. I don't know why my pants are unzipped. I get put on a list or something for that. The guy did a YouTube video. His pants was unzipped the whole time. Don't snitch. Don't turn me in. Can you even? Okay, thank God you couldn't. Game of Trees. Kevin Ham puts out a video called Sticky White Pine on a warm, late winter day. Now, I have to give him some credit because it is a single title. He's not trying to be greedy like everybody else and have 6 titles. He used some characters, some good, I guess it would be maybe his verbiage or something. I like how he put sticky. I don't know if maybe sticky's like a keyword to get you views or something. Like people that say huge, massive, epic, enormous, must see. Yeah, sticky white pine on a warm, late winter day. So, shout out to him for that. He's a guy that he's just a product guy. He's a product guy. He loves his products. So, I've never heard your dog's name. Oh, Jeffrey. Yeah, it's Monster. Ground Pounder. I think it's the second time you've had to answer for me because I don't pay attention. I don't know why my pants are unzipped. Yeah, I don't know. I usually sit down to go to the bathroom, so it doesn't make any sense. You can put a filter system on your live or few good noise, and then it won't see who's bad man. Yeah, I've got a few now. They got some quick thumbs on them too. Alright. Okay. I can't. Let me just say this. This video, go watch it if you get a chance. That's Game of Trees. This will be the next episode of Clout Criminals. I'll just leave it at that. The next episode where we do the full Officer Born reviews the video, Clout Criminals. I think it'll be episode 3, maybe. But I filmed it. I watched it. I reviewed it. I filmed it. I lost my mind a few times. Probably whined about some stuff that didn't need to be whined about. And threw a fit. But yeah, that'll be coming up soon. So I won't do much on that one. So I think I can trigger the system. Are you rushing? Yeah. Yeah. You mean, am I in a hurry, right? So, Game of Trees. We have to go over from that. We have to go to guilty of treason. Because Kevin wants to be just like Jake. Like, it's every video is an infomercial of the products that they use so that they can pinch some more money out of your wallet. I don't know. I should have sold this stupid idea with the Big Shot. I should have sold my idea for like the Spike Ascender, for my impact box for GoPros. What are the other things that I've had offers to, like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Like, especially when you're a big YouTube channel and you're making good money from YouTube, wanting to pinch them for a few more, like, dollars is just not my style. So, work last time. That's all we cut down here is white pines. No, all about the gum. Yeah, I'm not. I hate white pines. I just did one. It was like 180 foot tall, and it's coming up. Like it'll be coming up in a upcoming video. Okay, Guilty of Treason puts out a video called "Why Should You Hire Guilty of Treason?" Nope, nope. This is YouTube. I don't like it. Don't do a damn work commercial on. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see it. Like that was the cringiest, weirdest thing. I'm like, cool. A guilty video came is just up, and then when I clicked on it, it is. I don't know. Like I just feel like that could have been done much better. Um, it was a bit. I don't cringy. Like if you every time you do a video, man, you already tell people if you have trees, you say it in every video that you want to cut people's trees. You don't need to make a whole separate video to make a damn commercial to let people know that you want to cut their trees. Everyone knows you want to cut their trees. Like 1.5 million people, every time you upload a video, know that you want to cut some trees. Like, and then you give your information on all the videos. I don't like it. It was a waste of my time, and I thought it was cringy, and I'm like, nope, I don't want to watch that ever again. So don't do that no more. I don't like it. He was online today, commented on my stuff. They'll have to find out. I was just asking where you were. We're going to get the 592. And you going to... Dude, I think it's sick. That's okay. Oh, okay. Now I remember why did I bring up his commercial? Because in the commercial, the thumbnail, I think he may be the first tree guy, other than myself, and I'm sure some of you guys want to be included. Okay, some of you guys can be in on it too, okay? But me, I think he may be telling the truth, and some of you guys that are here, just the ones that are here live right now leaving comments, you can be in it. He told the truth about his experience, and he didn't embellish and make stuff up. He didn't say 20 years because 20 years is what all the other guys say. You know, he said 15 is his experience level. He's been doing it for 15 years. And I think that probably checks out. So the problem with that, though, is I'm sure most of the time when guys do this, if you've been making videos for any length of time, you've talked about your experience before, and then some guys they'll go out, like I've been on channels, and I've actually seen them in old videos say that they have 8 to 9 years experience. Later on, maybe a year or so later, they are now saying they have 20 years experience. And I don't know if most people realize this. You don't get to add everyone on the team's experience together. That's not the way. It should just be yours. Just your experience is what you should say. You don't get to add your dad's. I made a video on this one time. So yeah, go over and buy a t-shirt or buy a scrunch or something from him, because he's giving away a 500i every month for like the next 3 months. So that's awesome. He can do something like that. I got to use the 500i and the upcoming videos, the ones that are coming up next that I'll be uploading. I got to use the 500 a couple different times in these videos, and yeah, I think I have to have one. They're really good. And I'm an old saw guy. I Like I have 66. I have my 362, and then I like the 150. But all my other stuff is old for the most part. And like I have the very first 201. That was just a 201T that everyone else said was trash. I love it. Like that's the saw that I just put the pipe on. So so then he puts out another video. Thank God, because that damn commercial wasn't a video. I don't like that. He put out a video and it's called Cheapest Chainsaw I Have Ever Purchased. Did he have and okay, yeah, he made a regular YouTube. That's all he put for a title, right? Like he didn't put, I'm sure he probably put more, but dude, how is his $45 saw run better than some of the tree guys that I watch? What up, Berg? John came in too. What's up, man? I have 30 years experience. Dang, that's crazy. That's I have 40 and I'm only 32 years old, so figure that one out. Or I guess I should keep the right age because then it makes me look like a liar. I have 45 years experience and I'm 41. Figure that one out. Swinging an axe in, like, I guess I can't even say in my mom's stomach, in my dad's balls. I was like I was climbing and doing all kinds of, I don't, people are weird. Like, why lie about that? Because you could be, there's guys out there that have maybe 8 to 10 years experience, and they may be some of the best climbers on earth because they took to it different. They're way better than the guy, and that's why some of these old heads are gonna have to bank. I'm gonna have to do it eventually. I'm just gonna have to put all my stock in. I've been doing it longer than you because I'm not gonna be better. Eventually, I'm gonna have to let someone else be the best. I can't be the best forever. I'm really struggling with that one. I know the day will come that I'll have to, step down from number one and be like number 2 or 3, but you know, really messes with my head the more I think about it. But I mean, it's gonna happen one day, and then I'm gonna have to be like, well, I'm the second best, and I've been doing it longer than you, and so that's why some guys I think do it. But why? Why does Jake's $45 saw sound better than some of the guys on YouTube? Why did it run better than some of the other guys on YouTube? Has he ever thrown it out of a tree at his boss? For $45, you can afford to do that. You can afford to get a man throw it out of the damn tree at your boss. So yeah, thought that was pretty sick for $45. Like, what? Noker could never do that. $45 for a saw? Had a good birthday for my son today. Oh, right on. There's somebody said happy birthday. That's awesome. Getting ready to hit the sheets. Right on, John. Let's tell the boy we said happy birthday. That's sick. How old is he? You'll be a Murphy tree in no time. Or whatever his name is. Oh. Yeah, I will. You want to know something funny, Jeb? I have. If you guys want me to post it, I will, because I'm the sheriff. Like, he may have my phone number, but it doesn't mean we're like best friends. If you do something cringy or morally illegal, I think I should get to post it, right? I don't owe anybody anything. Turned 8 today. Well, hell yeah. That's a good age, man. They still like you. They still think you're the man. I can't. They'll always think you're the man. My daughter was good, but there was a point around when she became a teenager where I wasn't as cool. I used to be the coolest, but now as she's getting older, I'm getting cool again. So What was I? What was we talking about? Shit. Oh, yeah. So, okay, Tim. He sent me a list. I'm telling you, a list of things that he wanted me to basically talk about or make videos on. And it was just a list of things that I guess he considers that he did first on YouTube. He's like, ideas. Who was the first one to make a back cut on a back leaning? Like, and he got very specific, and a lot of them just sounded the same. But who was the first one to put that on YouTube? Who was the first one to make a video on a blah, 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 blah? Who was the first one? It was, dude, it was wild. And I will screenshot the message and post it on my on my community page. So like, I'll never be. I don't know if I'll have the passion that Daniel has. I think it's Daniel. Daniel is very passionate, and I think when I can't do it, I'll just shut up and not talk about it no more. So. It is another few years and he'll be too cool to hang out with old. Nah, probably not, man. Boys are different with their dads. So, that's sick, though, man. I hope he had a good birthday. I like how Jake saw in that video. I like the jiggly dogs. I think I like that. I think it was sick. Um, Maybe that's why some guys' saws don't sound good or run good. Maybe they need to loosen the dogs up because his worked good. Why does he always have to have something new? Why does he always gotta like have something like that's it's so expensive, like new every time? I don't like that either. I don't like it. It's getting ridiculous. He needs to stop. But if we disregard that, that truck is sick, and I wish I had it. So. To the tube? Dude, I have no value. I bring no value. That's why you should not subscribe. You should hit the thumb down button. And you should go even further and report my channel and try to get it taken down. Controlled barber chair technique. I don't know about controlled barber chair, but purposely barber chair, I can understand why you would do it. Like, that's the being extreme on one level of the wanting to understand things to a point where it's almost ridiculous. So that's just where my brain does go there. Like, I may be a little bit of crazy like Daniel, but I hope not. Like, I hope I'm not as crazy as I may be. Hell, I may be. But like I said, I obsess over wanting to know every little thing about it because I don't know much about other shit. I don't really care. I don't really care about other stuff. Like, I wish I knew how to work on vehicles and be a mechanic, but it just doesn't click for me. The tree work does, and I want to know everything. Like, I'm not happy with knowing most of it. I want to know everything, and that's just a bit of OCD that I think I have. Yeah, I'm glad I don't work for them anymore. There's a lot of different contractors around here. Tall timbers, Sabertree, and some other utilities. There's a tall timbers everywhere. There's one in my town. And I bet they even probably have the same logo. Does it look like the original dude who did it? It looks like his looked like a Harley Davidson. Like he ripped the Harley Davidson logo off and he put tall timber. So there's one of them everywhere. RF, I'm there. Just get my ticket. I need a round trip too. I don't want to get stuck there. But dude, I'll yeah, I'll come there. Tall, blonde, Swedish women? Hang on, do they shave their armpits over there? I don't like hairy armpits. I don't want no hairy armpits. I'm out if they're hairy armpits. I'm just not down. I don't like that. 2 pints. No one's talking about the armpits. Nobody knows. Whatever. All right, moving on then. Oh, okay. Next channel, Tree Climber Harry put out a video. Bees versus arborists was the name of the video. And so we walked up on the tree, and it was like bees all the way up it, just kind of hanging on the tree. I don't know if they had tapped in and they were drinking the sap from the cambium layer or what was happening, but the bees were all over the tree. He didn't want to mess with the bees. He calls the dude to be like, hey, there's bees all over this. What do you want to do? And the guy's like, climb it. And he's like, dude, you come here with your bee suit and climb it. No, no, no. So they end up not climbing it. They even tried to like use the blower to blow them off. Pause. Yeah, okay. He just did another. That went weird. So he goes over to do a different tree. And then the other guy came and showed up and did the bees and told him he's a sissy. Did the bee tree and told him he's a sissy. So that's the gist of the video. So go check it out because it was a good video. Video is called Bees versus Arborists. And the channel is Tree Climber Harry. It's, I believe, in Australia. It's just real good content. I enjoy it. So I have a bee suit in my truck just waiting to bust it out. Really? That's sick. I have a video. I don't know if I'm telling you guys honestly, I have over 100 SD cards that are full of old content that goes back maybe up to like a decade. Whenever I got my first GoPro, I don't know. Like I have over 100 SD cards that are full that I like. If I like never touched or made anything new right now, I think I could make videos forever still, it feels like. But there's a video of me and I used a lift to do the tree. But it was in the middle of this city park and I took the tree down and had a beehive in it. So I ended up taking the section out and I think we knew where the bees was at. It was a big maple tree. I took the top out of the tree and I got it down to that log where I felt like it was starting. As I was cutting chunks of wood, it got to where it started to hollow out real big, and you could see the difference in the wood. It was starting to look foamy, and wood usually does that with honeybee hives and with the bee or with the honey. You can start to see it. I've seen it in other trees. Do a mass upload? Yeah, I guess I could, and just yeah. I get beyond aggravated when I upload stuff. I've tried to do back to back to back to back, but when it doesn't get viewed and I spend all that time putting the video together and letting it like doing all the, I'm just like, it's not worth it. I'll sit on it forever. And then I'll put a video out that says 30 years ago I did this, and maybe people will watch it. I don't know. Send me the content. I'll make you a video. Right on. That's what I should do. I should just email you an SD card and you can just do whatever you want with it. What was I talking? Oh, so yeah, I'm taking that tree down and we ended up with just the log left, and I knew I was at the section where the bees was at. They were starting to get a little gnarly and starting to move around, and they had like a good size like swarm in front of it. So I snap cut the section, and then I connected it, I think, to the bottom of the lift because I was just going to push it out. But the bee guy was like, can you not do that? Please don't do that. And then people start telling me it's like illegal if I hurt the bees and stuff. And I'm like, I'm just trying to do my damn job and get home. So I'm like, okay, whatever. The bill jacks will hold it. So I used the bill jacks like a crane. I cut the section where the bees was in. It was probably about an 8-foot log. maybe, yeah, probably about an 8 foot log. And it was pretty good size, but I knew it was hollow, so it didn't weigh as much as it normally would. So I make the snap cut, I get it loose, and I put a strap onto it and lift it up, and it's underneath me because I hooked the strap to it and then I hooked it up underneath the basket onto the lift where the actual jib comes out, where it's a little stronger, not to the like aluminum baskets that are on there. So then when I lifted it up, the piece of wood stayed below me, which was nice. I wasn't in my face right in it. And then we lowered it to the ground. I set it on the ground, left it there. And then the B guy shows up and he asks him, can you guys cut the log in half? And I'm like, dude, we did all the work for you. Like, there's the bees. And he's like, well, I can't move that and this and that. I'm like, so I told the guys, like, cut it. And nobody would do it. Everybody said they was allergic and this and that. But I ended up going over there and making that cut. And when I was up in the tree doing the work, there was times when I had bees on me, and I just stayed really chill because I've been stung before. But honestly, I watched Fried Green Tomatoes, and I seen where that chick like stuck her arm in there, and she stayed all calm, and she took out honey and stuff. And I thought that's got to be real. I was, I just wanted to believe it because I was screwed. I had to do the tree no matter what. So that's what I did. Nobody would make the cut. I was like, I'll do it. I put on long sleeves and I walked in. Everything was good at first, and I started making the cut. And the more I made the cut, the more they poured out and landed at my arms. And my arms weighed so much at one point. After I finished the cut, like I shut the saw off and I just had to walk around for like 10 minutes before they finally cleared off my arms and I didn't get stung. And then I stripped all my shirts and stuff off because I thought I had some in my shirt and stuff. But yeah, I think if you stay calm, you're usually good. I think that video may be on YouTube. If not, it's one of the SD cards that I have. So what good is it doing sitting in the drawer? It's doing. That's what it's doing. I can hear the crickets in the background. Miss that sound. Don't have it. Oh, dude, yeah, I love the crickets. Yeah, always love the crickets. That's funny to me because people have tripped out during my live feeds before because they're like, is that fireflies? Yeah, you guys don't have lightning bugs where you're at? What? I'm like, yeah. That's crazy. I don't even notice them. That's what's crazy to me. Like it sometimes when I do notice it, I wish I didn't because they get so loud sometimes. Cause I grew up out in the woods in the country, so like they would be so loud, it was like chaos. And if you tune into it, it'll like drive you nuts sometimes. So I think I've learned to tune them out, and then every once in a while I'll realize they're like oh god, they're loud right now. But yeah, I don't really notice it. I'm so used to it, Tim, that I don't really notice it anymore. Okay, next channel. Here's a newer channel. Or actually, Let's jump to Tim. Let's go to Veterans Tree Service. All right. We gotta start. I mean, we should just start it off proper. And every Tim video. Really? Really? I didn't even push play yet. And he's got 3 damn titles. What? You don't get to have 3 titles? You already have more subscribers than everybody. You don't get to have more titles, too. Knock it off. Knock it off. I don't like it. 1 title is all you get. It can be a run-on sentence, I told you. Like, it can be a long run-on sentence. But I'm over this having to read more than 1 title thing. So you get 1 title, that's it. Everybody needs to knock this shit off with the extra titles. I don't like it. I don't want to see it no more. 3 is just greedy. It is greedy. But, okay, so the video is called Climbing Dead Trees is Easy. Just relax. You wasted a title on 2 words. That's where you went wrong. Like, you should have titled it Just Relax. Climbing Dead Trees is Easy. Oh, no, hang on. Because then he put 150-foot tree. I could figure this out. Okay. Just relax. Climbing a 150-foot dead tree is too easy to remove. There. That's how you do that. You don't get to have 3. No, that was not 2 titles. That wasn't 2 titles. What was that? It was something. I had an excuse. I don't remember what it was, but it was a good one. It was a good one. Don't exactly. You don't know, Tim. That didn't happen. There was a reason for mine. Um, like I said, you can have a run-on sentence. That's okay. You don't get to have more than one title, though. Dude, was that on this week? Damn, I thought it was. I thought it was from last week. I didn't know it was from this week. I did skip it. Damn. You know what? This is what I'm going to do then. Since I did that, Tim, episode 4 of Clout Criminals will be... Maybe I do that. Maybe I do that. Let's see. I'll try. I'll see what I can do. You should be happy. I mean, it just... Only thing that happened is you didn't get 50 more tickets like you're going to get here in a second. But so the video starts, and he's like, hey guys, it's me, it's Tim. I'm a little snatch. And this is exactly how it started. We got this little evergreen to climb, and he showed it, and I think it was like 60 foot. And he's like, I'm gonna climb this real good. I'm gonna make the cut. I'm gonna do the cuts, and I'm gonna get the monies. And I think that's how the intro. It wants pretty much like that, I think. So when the video starts, he tried to throw a little shade for you guys with your fancy climbing stuff. Whoever's gear is clean is sissy, because Tim wants to know, how is your gear always clean in every video? And it's simple. I just clean it when I put it up every time. So if you're talking about me, you better... That, first of all, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you're not, I agree with you. If I'm not involved, then I'm on your side. Sissies. But if I am, dude, I clean it before I put it up. So I usually take my gear off and then I beat it off real good before I put it up. I feel like we were going back to my pants being unzipped, but I don't. That's weird. It was actually 30 foot. Dude, I was just trying to help you a little bit. I mean, I thought we were buddies, so I bump it up, you know. It's kind of like that 20-year thing. Both sides. You son of a bitch. First it... Okay. 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 So he wants to know about your clean gear. Now I'm mad. But I have to... You guys are supposed to be clapping. We taught Tim how to climb, or how to tie into a tree. I mean, he tied in right. Yeah, I do. That's why my stuff stays stiff and clean. I beat the dirt off of it. You just let it sit there all the time, it's just gonna get dirty and nasty. And you didn't catch nothing bad for you. I didn't. Nobody said that. Okay. I forget what I was at, where I was at. Oh yeah, yeah. He learned how to tie into a tree. We taught him. We taught him. We did it. This channel can shut down right now. We can stop doing these. This will be the last one today. We did it. We did it. We grabbed one of these YouTube knuckleheads. We put him in a headlock, and we noogied him until he was like, okay, 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 okay. Or we like gave him a wedgie until he finally gave in and tied in right. So I just want to say I'm proud of you, son. You're doing great. You're doing great, and I just keep up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. That's what. How does the safe block thing work? Yeah, it's just 3 rings onto made it to one, and you weave the rope through it. I'm still picking out that wedge. Yeah. Hey, we did it though. We did it. I feel accomplished. I mean, I feel accomplished. And I want to say right now, I don't really think Tim is the leader of the crew there. I say Little Snatch is the leader. He's the biggest. So he gets to be the boss from now on. I like Little Snatch. We need to see more Little Snatch. And he needs to be proud about saying it. Like, he knows his name now. That's my favorite part. Like, he's like, he corrected Tim. He's like, he like called him, what'd you call him? He called him like, Bowser or something, like Mario Kart, and Bowser said something like that. And he's like, I thought it was Little Snatch. And I lost it. I'm like, oh my God. I love it. He's my favorite from now on. He should just, I wish he would just like throw his weight around and just bully you. Like shake the tree when you're in it. He looks like you just rip it out of the ground. But Donkey Kong, son of a gun. Yeah, I never claimed to be smart. Just right all the time. But yeah, I dig Little Snatch. I'm a huge fan of Little Snatch. He is the man. Oh yeah, shout out to the Avant for making the job easier. That was sick. And you may want to keep some grease or oil around in case Little Snatch gets stuck in that thing so you can get him back out. Because it looked like you had to shoehorn him to get him into it. But he's a big guy. But yeah, I dig him. I think I want more of him. On top of that, thanks for not adding me. Don't at me when you double tug. Okay? It's a waste of your time. I'm busy beating my gear off while you're trying to at me double tugging. So I don't know, man. Just don't. Thanks for not. He double tugged, but he didn't at me this time. So I thought that was cool. I like that. And my other note says he's just climbing another simple evergreen. And that's just the truth. So, yeah, that's all. Damn, that sucks I missed that other video. I thought that video was from last week. The blue thing, oh my God. Yes, this thing is awesome. So, I feel like I've probably always been a troll. So, this thing, this was bought because I to troll and for a joke. Okay? Looks like friction. Okay. Um, so what I did is I took this, I took one of these, and David Driver, the guy who invented X rings. So I was hooked the first time I ever seen an X ring. I'm like, I'm in 100%. I was like, I was probably annoying him and just bugging him, but he was really nice. He was a good dude. Um, and when he was watching, he followed my videos and like give me feedback and stuff. But he's a good guy, just an awesome dude. He's the guy that invented your rigging rings, X rings. So when he came out with the safe block, I was in a Northern Tool Supply, which is just a hardware store, okay? And I was going through it, and in one of the aisles, I seen this thing. This tells you how deep my trolling goes, okay? This is to a safe block. So I took a picture of it, and then I sent it to David. And I said, hey, they already stole your idea, but they did it better, and they put more holes. And so when I sent the picture, I sent it really close, so it looked bigger, like much bigger and everything. And I trolled him for a while before I finally let him know it was a joke and showed him it, and he thought it was funny. So, yeah, that's why I have this. I used it to rig, just to do it, but it's a rope anchor. I think it's meant for like roofing and stuff. So what you can do is you can weave your rope through it. You would anchor it like that to this top one, but you don't have to do a bunch of stuff. You can actually take the rope, put it up through there, just tie a stopper knot and work off of it if you wanted to. So now you would anchor it up a rope however you wanted, and then you could move that knot if you wanted to move this further up and just put the knot. And then same thing here, you could weave it in the spots however you needed to, or you can have multiple anchor points. Like say you had some tools, this would go in a spot up at maybe the top of a steep roof. Maybe I may have made all this up, but this is the idea that I kind of got from it. And you could anchor multiple things, and even lower them down to you if you needed to. The problem with this thing, and even when I used it, the holes are way too close, and the bend radius is far too sharp that it creates way too much friction. It's very inconsistent. But I rigged some big stuff off of this. But just look how thin it is. Very, very thin. William, what up? It's the jail block. It's the jail block, basically. Yeah. You guys want to buy it? I sell these. You want to buy them? You gotta go to my YouTube store. I wish I would have. I should have showed it way up real close. It's really huge too. It's big, so you should buy a bunch of these. It's got a lot of holes. Yeah, yeah. It's called what do I call it? Jail block. Yeah, I remember. My memory is fried. Far too many. Too much. Too many. I believe Ground Powder calls them burgers. Okay. JB can suck it. I don't know. I wouldn't tell him to do that. If he goes by JB, he may. You better watch out. I could make them. Dude, let's sell them, Bert. We could take everyone's money. You don't. That's what every. I want to. We could take people's money, Bert. You want to do? You want to? You want to take people's money with me? They joke. Son of a gun. See, that's the opposite of what I heard. I heard it took magnifying glass, like you had to have magnifying glass, tweezers, and pepper. And you sprinkle a little pepper on it, and then when it sneezes and jumps out, you gotta get it. You're funny. That's fucking hilarious. West Coast. I know. That's what he told me. That's sick. Yeah. Old GB was testing a 193, 194 muffler. So, I talk about that in the upcoming video. Put a single gate on each hole. I'd buy one. Yeah, it would work as like a trolley setup. Like you could put a little micro pulley there, a little micro pulley there, and then run it. Yeah, you could do a lot of stuff with it. It's basically, I mean, it's got a. If you look right here, this is the way it's showing you. Look, can you see that little drawing right there? So it says you're like supposed to weave it all in there, all weird and shit. I don't know. It seems unnecessary to me. I would just put it up there and tie a stopper knot, and then tie another stopper knot. If you're, but it's quality. I mean, what does it say? Used for 5/8 to 3/4 inch rope, 16 to 19 millimeter, or approved rope only. Did I bend it? No, I never bent it. But yeah. Oh no, it doesn't even have like a safe workload limit or nothing on it. It doesn't have any useful information. It's just like got the name on it, but just, I mean, don't worry about none of that. Just buy one. I'm gonna sell these. You guys need one of these. Yeah, I think I spent $15 just to troll him for a little bit. So that tells you how stupid I am. But I'll sell it to you for $50. You pay the shipping. Yeah, and then the product will get worse. It'll look like you're supposed to get that, but what you'll get is a little piece of metal with 5 drill holes in it. Real thin metal. For $50. I'll make it out of pickle jar lids. It'll still be the same blue color. I'm looking at a pickle jar lid right now that's got like screws and stuff in it for you. But yeah. Oh, but I don't even know where we were at. Let me think. But I had more questions. How long have we been doing this? We've been doing this for a long time, guys. Aren't you guys tired? I'm kind of tired. Okay. Can an older technique or method be better than a newer one? Like, okay, the reality of things is the basics are getting skipped over these days. You guys are crazy. Back to Michigan in the morning. Right on. Alright, so the reality of the situation with YouTube is the basics are being skipped. Some guys are getting into climbing trees and stuff, and they are going straight to a zigzag or straight to a rope runner pro. They're because they have idiots like me out there that's like, SRT is way easier. You should use SRT. It's easier on your body. It's easier to do. Blah, 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 blah. They're like, oh, I'm doing that. Not realizing that when I say that, I'm talking to experienced climbers that are used to using a moving rope system and have become very familiar with it, if not mastered. a moving rope system. I think that knowledge is super important. But I mean, the reality is that things are getting skipped over. Major steps that will assist you along the way and knowledge that you kind of need is just getting skipped over these days. A rigging technique is the thing that catches someone's eye, maybe, and they're like, "That's fascinating," and they never rig. I guess, I guess that example doesn't work as good. But they instantly go buy a big rigging block, but they've never rigged natural crotch, or they go straight to span rigging, and they've never normally rigged. Like, there's just there's so much info out there, and so many people regurgitating that info that you people don't even have to search it out anymore. It's like thrown in their face. Break out of a bottle. It's gonna be one of them nights. All right. Let's do this. Oh. Eh? You want? I don't drink. If I did, I'd probably be much more likely to drink that. Scotch? Yeah. I think you need to be able to repel with nothing, with just a rope. Because there's been many, many, many times that you drop a carabiner, that I've dropped my carabiner. Just things that I've got. I think I gave shot. I've cracked this one open for people that have just shown up that wanted some, but it's just Bushmills, Irish whiskey. I don't know alcohol. I just know that these were very old bottles that a lady that I'd worked for went and got. They owned a really fancy wine place, or like they even call it a bar. It was like a fancy place for a bar, but you would go in and test whiskeys and stuff, and they would always just give me a bottle of whiskey. Even though I said I didn't want it, they would just give me a bottle of whiskey every time that I went there. So yeah, that's Bushmills Irish whiskey. And I mean, then I got moonshine. You want moonshine? Straight corn whiskey? I have more alcohol than an alcoholic, but I don't drink. So, have a stiff one for me. I can't, man. I just can't. I don't. This is, so, look at all this. So, this has all this lettering, this English like stuff written all over it about the Queen and how this whiskey was. I don't even know. This is crazy. It says, what's it say here? By appointed to Her Majesty the Queen Wine Merchants Justarina and Brooks Ltd. It gives an address of London, England, St. James Street, blah blah blah. It says rare, really big, blended Scotch whiskey, 100% Scotch whiskeys, distilled. I'm trying to get yeah. It says 1921 to 36. And then it gives a whole bunch of weird information about the kings and queens. Like, it says King George IV, King William IV, Queen Victoria, King Edward, King George, King George III, by appointed. Yeah, this is weird. And yeah, it was made in Scotland. I don't know. It says product of Scotland. I don't know. It's a very old bottle of whiskey. If it's, someone else will be the one to drink it. I won't. Whistle a ditty on that, Joe. I ain't doing a ditty on nothing. Not these days. You can't even say that word. Don't even say ditty. I feel like you'll get squirted in the eye with baby oil or something. I'm gonna snipe you. Yeah, I mean, I'm a cop. I can't be drinking. Oh, I'm not a cop. I'm the sheriff. Figure I gotta chill with that. Just the other day, I was talking to some cops here, and I felt like being like, they were like interrogating me about the fire that happened, and I'm like, do you understand that I'm a sheriff? And I almost told them, but then I realized that I probably would get in trouble, so I didn't. James, what up, brother? How are you? That's my guy there. Sweet. Doing good, James. How are you, brother? Yeah, you have a good week too. Yeah, if I'm gonna drink, that'd be Bert. That's the same way with me. So I should have booked them. You're right. I should have. I'm like, put your hands behind your back. You realize I'm the sheriff? What the hell? There's 80 here and 40 at home. Wow. That's awesome. Enjoy that warm weather, dude. I'm sure you got to deal with enough cold. So, I have another question. Yeah, that's the same damn thing. Why did I put that twice? Do you have to know all the basics? And I think you should. You don't have to, but I think you should. Like we were saying, it's going to get you out of a pinch many, many, many times. It's going to save you time many, many, many times. And it's going to like make it easier on you many, many, many times. Oh, no worries, James. I just appreciate all the support, brother. You are the man. I really do. That's awesome that you've been busy, though. That's better than being not busy. Hopefully everything's good for you. Hopefully you and the fam's good. I talked about that already. Alright, I think I have one more channel we could do. Alright, let's do this one. Sizemore Tree Works. Sizemore Tree Works. The video was another day making hinge wood. He said that his business is starting to pick up. You know, this time of year, things they start to pick up for a lot of people, and stoked for him. It seems like it's starting to pick up for him. He's talking about, you know, he's got I think his words were a plethora of work to do, of contracts or something. I don't remember what exactly he says, something like that. But yeah, in the video he talks about that he's seen himself, or he watched a video of himself, and then he kind of corrected himself because that sounds very narcissistic. He's like, the other day I watched a video of my, and he like, it's YouTube will make you a narcissist if you have a certain personality. You can't help it. It will make you that way. To where you're like, I love watching myself, or like, I could look at myself in the mirror all day. But that's what he says at first. He says, he's like, I was so excited. Well, here, yesterday, or the other day, I was watching a video of myself from a year ago, and he starts smiling ear to ear when he starts talking about watching himself. And he's like, oh, I mean, I was watching it, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, my style has changed so much in a year. and the advancements that can happen in a year, and you learn a lot by watching yourself. Yeah, yeah, you can. I don't watch. I'm thinking of it as a person who edits videos. I guess if you just recorded it and then uploaded it and you didn't really have to sit there and watch it 50,000 times while you're editing the video together, I can understand going back and watching your video afterwards. I can't either. I don't like my videos. I don't like my voice. I don't want to watch myself. I have to watch it so many times in the editing process that I am absolutely burnt on it before I ever get the video done. And I'm like, oh. Do you guys, as professional arborists, use triple locking carabines or are single or double? Okay. Just asking because they're only allowed triple locking. I use all different kinds, man. So this dude. I guess that's only two, isn't it? Or is when you open it is 1, 2? Yeah, that's 1. That's 2. And then when you have to lift it up, that's 3. So that's triple, I guess. I use a lot of these that are screw locking. I really, really like this kind because I can clip it on really quick. Like if I'm using, I have this on my back a lot of times, this setup. And say I get in a situation where I need a secondary tie-in point, I can reach back with one hand, unclip this, take that off, and hook another climbing system on so quick, clip it on. But when I get it attached to me, I then want to make sure I like the quickness of a single gate like that, being able to attach it, and you know how simple and easy and like quick it attaches, but I do want it to lock. Same way with some of my rigging carabiners, they're locking just like this. I think this is triple locking. Yeah, down, turn, and then, yeah. See, these pencil ones are a little aggravating because you start to get used to this design, which is down, twist, and open. Down, twist, and open. And Petzl does the opposite, up, twist, and open. And so when I reach back behind my back to unclip stuff sometimes, these aggravate me at times. I really like the Rock Exotica O, the ovals. These are probably my favorites to use. But I just got, I prefer this for my lanyard. I don't want to use any other clip. I will not use something like this for my lanyard. At the rope grab, like when I hook it to the rope grab or whatever I'm using, if you're using a prusik or whatever, I will attach with one of these, a triple locking, because I don't want it to come undone. But I refuse to use anything else other than this kind for the attachment, from where I take my lanyard, throw it around, and attach. Because all you gotta do is click back there and open. I refuse to use anything other than this. I love how big the clip is because I have kind of bigger hands. It allows me to just kind of squeeze it real quick and be able to disconnect with a single hand, but have the security of having that additional lock and it not being able to come open so easy, because you can get in situations where that gate will get pressed when you're using it as a lanyard. So it depends, man. I have a little bit of everything, I think, and over the years I've just kind of gotten used to everything. Like this is the one that I prefer for a rope runner. This is my favorite because of the gate there. But this is the wildest one. This is an Eldred. So you can't get that open until you go down, and then it still won't open. So you actually have to lift this up, then lift that up, or no, down, and then open to get this thing open. So I like kind of that it's so difficult, but at times when I'm trying to do a quick disconnect with my connection with my climbing system and have to twist or reconnect, it does get a little tricky sometimes to try to do that with one hand, but it's nice that you can, if I had to do it with one hand, I can hold that one open and then squeeze that down, and I've kind of developed a little technique to do it, but yeah, that's a weird one. I don't think there's probably many of them like that. Think about rock climbers clip into yeah, but at the same time, they're not making that much of connection, I guess. And aren't they disconnecting and reconnecting repeatedly? And you need like this is contact points where a lanyard for us and spikes would be. A lot of times contact point is feet and hands. So you need to be able to disconnect or use that clip single-handed always. So I could see where using just single clips would be what they would do, or they could technically move to something like this. This would be the only thing. I could see any of those being a no-no if you were doing like rock climbing or something. I don't see anything. Yeah, yeah, I really like the screw locking ones. There are times where I've looked down and I've left this unscrewed, and I look down and you will get in those binds where it starts to open up. So this is just reassurance. There's no chance. I have them for rigging too, and I really, really like them. They're very simple, and as long as you can make sure you keep them greased, or don't let them get sappy or rusty, because what'll happen with the screw locking is you will bring it down and it will get stuck right there. So if you have a screw locking one, you don't always have to take it all the way to its farthest in either position, up or down. Because if you look, I've had it like just to like, okay, probably there. Yeah, you can't get that open there. Let's keep going down. Let's see how far we can go. Still can't get it open. Still can't get it open. Okay, barely just open there. And let's see how many. See, it's still holding. Now let's see how many spins you still had. Half. There's a whole turn. 2 turns. 3 turns. So 3.5 turns. You don't have to use. So you don't have to go all the way to the end. That's why I like this. When I connect it, I can usually just go, and if I get it somewhere up there, I know that it's covered and it's not coming off. So yeah, Jeffrey. That's kind of what I asked. If you guys trust the double to be good enough, or is it? I think triples have become the standard, and there's just more carabiners in tree climbing that are triple. But I don't mind a double. I know that I have seen these at times where if you look at this, it wouldn't take a whole bunch for this thing to get against my hand, and then the gate, if it got against something, then the gate could come open. So just if it bumps something this way and you push at the same time, it does open. So there's those situations where I guess it could happen. But you always, I think you should be double checking, before you make a major movement, double check. That's where my accident happened. I was making a major movement and had checked everything. Then I had a conversation with the ground guys, explained how to do something, yada yada yada, and then instead of re-inspecting before I dropped all my weight down into it and moved, I just fell. So yeah, dude, there's nothing more aggravating than those screw locking ones getting stuck. Oh, it's so bad. Flip lines will be double on one side and triple on the other typically. Yeah, that's what I was saying, ground pounder. My connection point is triple, and my where my rope grab is triple, and then where my connection point is double. Tim, don't do that. Steel core, guys. Uh, um, I see some very sketchy things happen with chainsaws out there. Like, be careful when you're using a chainsaw, like cutting back at yourself at times. Like, you're cutting a log. Maybe it's a good sized log, and your saw's not big enough, so you lean over the log and lay on it and start to cut the underneath, and then you start to cut. I watched a guy take his saw, lean over the log, start to cut to the point that he had his saw all the way pointed back at him, and he was still cutting. If there was a kickback at that point, there's not a chance in hell that you can hold on to it. There was no way. Plus, it's just lazy and kind of a bit stupid. Walk around. Make the cut on that side if you can't safely reach it. It's just, especially if you want to make content and be a person who's like, I think, you want to share your info and share your knowledge. You shouldn't then turn around and do complete knucklehead movements and show them, because you've set a precedent where you want to teach, you want to show things, you want to express your knowledge to everybody and share it. You can't then just do stupid shit and expect, oh, people won't do that. No, you told them, like, you gave them the impression you're a guy that teaches and does the right thing and you know things, so then they try to emulate. So I think that's one issue I have with bucking, is that. So he has a lot of good things that he does, but then he will do some silly things that I find to be absolutely just boneheaded. And he's like, well, people need to know not to do that. No, they don't know that, because you tried to teach them everything, and you try to tell them your way's the right way, and then when you record something and upload it, they don't magically know that's the one thing that you do that they know they shouldn't. When you have a huge following, you also have responsibility, I think. So you got all your fingers and toes. Yeah, yeah. I've cut myself pretty good one time. So I've cut my leg when I was younger, probably like 15 or 16. Um, I don't know if you've heard of Genkos, but that was around the time the old Genkos was rocking, and I was probably, my dumb ass was probably wearing the old kangaroos or something, and I don't know, I just had baggy ass pants on as far as I can remember, and I was cutting down by my leg. Um, I think I had boots on and everything, but my pants were just too baggy. And while I was making a cut, the saw skipped up a little bit, and then it grabbed my pant. I don't even know if it kicked back, but it grabbed my pant leg and sucked the nose of the chain and bar into my leg, like right underneath my calf. I have a chunk missing out of my leg there where it ran in. Then I cut my hand one time because I was making I was I like I said, I didn't know about all this other stuff. I just knew you cut stuff, and chucked it, cut stuff and chucked it. That's basically how we climbed. That's why I got good at climbing, because instead of rigging things and knowing how to rig them and do all this fancy stuff, I just climbed all the way out to the tips. I thought I had the biggest advantage in the world, being skinny and not weighing very much. I could get out where other people couldn't. So, um, yeah, I was chunking down wood, and I think at one point I I was leaving the wood at this place and taking the brush. So I cut a chunk of wood and I was holding it and it had a sucker coming off of it. And I was like, damn, I grabbed my top handle and I went to cut that sucker and it bounced off the sucker and jumped up and hit me up underneath my hand there. And you can still kind of see the scar going across there. So it cut me all the way around. And I was by myself at that time. So I had like a handkerchief or like a bandana in my back pocket, luckily. So I grabbed the bandana and I tied my hand off. And the problem was, when I went like, it was fine when I went like this. I felt it hit, and I seen the blood instantly. So I hung my saw up, and then when I was like, I looked at it, it didn't look all that bad at first until I went like this. And when I went like this, I could see deep inside my hand. And I was like, oh no, man. And then it just kind of started to pour blood. So I grabbed the bandana, I wrapped my hand up real good. Um, I finished chunking the tree down. It wasn't a real big tree. I mean, I think maybe at the base, it was like a maple that wasn't no more than maybe like that at the base. So where I cut myself was about half that diameter, and I was working my way down, chunking it down. And then I was dripping blood at the time. I didn't realize it until I came back. But I ran up, knocked on the door, and then walked away from the door. And then the people came out, and I was like, hey, I'm going to go grab a drink, and I'll be right back. And they said, okay, take your time. And so I actually went home and bandaged my hand up, tried to super glue it, and it wouldn't stay closed. And I had to go to the emergency room, and they ended up sewing my hand all up. And I tried my best to super glue it shut and clamp it down, and tried to do it myself, but it wasn't possible. It was a really dumb little mistake that don't make. It's not one that you think of. You see that saw go through the chunk of wood, it cuts through with ease. You're like, I just got to cut this little sucker. It's not going to do anything, and because of it being so flimsy and small, it just bounced off of it. And the branch of the wood, if I would have cut it when it was attached, wouldn't have been bad. But the give and the movement that I had, because I was holding it in my hand, allowed it to kick back instead of cut. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but I spent a lot of time thinking about what happened and why it happened. So yeah, super glue hurts. I one time I used to work at a factory, a plastic factory, and I was a lead operator there, and I would run cranes, and they would bring these big molds and stuff over. So after we would cook some of these plastic products, we would have to scrape the lids because there would be burnt plastic to it. So we'd scrape that stuff off when it was warm, and it would come off pretty easy. Well, a couple of the molds would lift awkwardly. They would have too much weight to one side or the other, and so they had to design a way to line these lids up when they would go to put them down, because they would set lopsided. So they did angle iron on them, and the angle iron would line them out as they came down and get them to set correctly. And I had a new guy working for me at the time, and I told him not to touch my controls. I had set my remote down and was helping him clean it, and he walked over to it because he was short and pushed the down button on the remote, and I was underneath it, and the angle iron went down and stabbed me in my head, and flipped a big chunk open on my head here. And At that point, marijuana was not illegal, and I could not do a piss test. So I instantly ran outside, and there was an old lady that I knew there. It was really cool, and I had her super glue that chunk back onto my head, and I had a wad back here of hair that stayed like that forever, and I had to like wear a hoodie for the whole day. It was like 100 and something degrees inside this factory on a summer day. But I had a white T-shirt on and it had blood all over the back of it from where it busted my head, and I was so afraid of having to take a piss test that I wore a hoodie for the rest of the day and took that shirt off. So yeah, 201 14 is for you. I think it's time. I agree, guys. We went for over 2 hours. My wife's probably waiting for me inside. Um, and my ugly dog. So, guys, I appreciate you hanging out. As always, you guys are the best. If you want even more content, you can join the memberships. If you don't want to, you're going to miss out on all the good stuff. But hey, that's on you. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks to all the members. Thanks for anybody who stopped in here. You guys are the best. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Uh, was it Easter? Have a good Easter and have a safe work week. See you guys. See you, Jeffrey.